All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about how you can write a blog post in less than an hour. And so sometimes you might find that it's harder to write a blog post in an hour just because the type of content that it is, it takes a little bit more explaining. But on a high level, you can really map out a blog post and kind of get it out in an hour. You might need someone to proof it and edit it, but getting that initial blog post written in an hour is definitely doable. And so here is the steps that I take when I'm writing my blog post. So step one is choosing your topic. If you've already completed your content worksheet, then you probably have some ideas for topics that you want to cover. So choose your topic. And then from there, you look at 5 different talking points that you know that you want to touch base on in your blog post. And then from there, step 3 is once you've mapped out your hierarchy kind of talking points, then I would break that down into 2 to 3 subpoints. So 2 to 3 bullet points. Once you have that out, you can start looking for sources online, if applicable. If you know that one of your subtopics or you want to be able to have a source or link to a study, that kind of thing, then you can look for sources online if it applies to the type of blog post that you're writing. Once you've done that, you can write your compelling headline. And we're going to talk about writing headlines in the next video, so I won't jump into too much of that. But from there, you would go and create a sub-headline for each talking point. Once you have your headlines done, you would look at writing short paragraphs for each bullet point, or even a few sentences. It's okay if the bullet points go into one paragraph, but you would write out some short sentences describing what you want to talk about each. From there, you compile your paragraphs under each subheading and start mapping it out in terms of headings and body text. And then you write a 1 to 2 sentence or an intro paragraph about what the blog post is about. Then you write 1 to 2 sentence outro paragraph and include an offer if applicable. So let me just show you an example of what I mean. All right, so here I am, I have a Google Doc open, and let's say I want to, let's say I want to write about how to write a blog post in an hour or less. Then I would just start now. I'm not going to go through the actual writing of each of the paragraphs, but I just want to show you how I do this first part, because this is really what creates the roadmap for you. And so once you have your topic, then remember we're going to pick 5 to 10 subtopics. So the first one would be choose your topic. Then we want to talk about mapping out your talking points, creating sub talking points, researching your sources, and then writing out short paragraphs for each talking point. And then we're going to compile the paragraphs under each heading and write the intro, write the outro. All right, so once you have that mapped out, then you can do some subtopics. So it could be, how to choose your topic. And then I would just, does the topic help with sales goals? And so you can go through here, and once you start kind of mapping this out, you'll find that when you have to come back and write your paragraphs, well, you already know your talking points. So to really say a little bit about each of your talking points, you'll find that it's easier to craft that way instead of looking at just like a blank screen in front of you, being like, I have to write this arbitrary amount of text in order to be able to have a blog post. Choose your topic, map out your talking points, create your sub-talking points, turn those into paragraphs, research your sources if needed, and then compile them all into paragraphs, write your intro, outro, plan your in-content offers, and then bam, you're ready to go. So you can see that this just took me a short couple of minutes to really map out high level. And then if I took the rest of my hour to map out that content in those paragraphs, it's definitely doable to be able to map out a blog post in an hour or less. In the next video, we're going to talk about crafting winning headlines. So we'll jump over to that now.